You're listening to Affected by Altitude, a Colorado Rockies podcast for and by Rockies fans on Rocky Mountain Rooftop. Thank you for joining us as we discuss all things baseball and Colorado Rockies. Hello and welcome to Affected by Altitude on Rocky Mountain Rooftop. This is a special Rooftop Mingle session with Albuquerque Isotopes infielder Nolan Clifford. Very excited to have him on the show with us today. Nolan, how are you doing? Thanks so much for joining us.
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's I bet you're doing great. Wild night last night. So for those not in the know, Nolan was part of a huge comeback by the Albuquerque Isotopes last night, ending up winning over the Las Vegas Aviators in a 16-14 final score after being down by 1 point, something like 10 runs. Nolan drove in the game-tying 2 runs on his first professional hit, because yesterday was Nolan's professional debut in the Rockies minor league system. Nolan, how are you feeling after everything that happened last night?
I'm feeling good. Still just kind of in shock a little bit, but happy to be here and happy to help out. And, I know that there's been a lot of injuries, so just trying to fill in and help the team, any way that I can. So.
Yeah, and so you were, I imagine, down at the Rockies Arizona complex, just playing and training and doing all that stuff. What was your reaction when you got the call? Not only were you getting your first minor league assignment with the team, but that you were going straight up to Triple-A.
Yeah, I honestly didn't believe it at first. I was kind of surprised. Thought they had the wrong number potentially, but it was really cool. I felt prepared. So after the initial shock, I was just excited to get here and get an opportunity to hopefully get some at bats and get some playing time under my belt before the season wraps up.
Yeah, it's super exciting just because you were drafted in the 17th round out of Creighton, had a really great season with Creighton here in 2024. And then all of a sudden, just to make your professional debut at the highest level of minor league baseball just has to be an absolute trip.
Yeah, really cool, especially being down at the complex, getting to come out here in front of a bunch of fans and play in the stadium again. It was really cool, and I'm really grateful that I got this opportunity, heading into the off season and stuff. So.
What was your initial thought when you first took the field in Albuquerque? Because it's a beautiful stadium out there, but it's a huge stadium. And after spending most of your summer out at the Arizona complex, all of a sudden it's your professional debut in front of a huge Albuquerque crowd. Any nerves there as you took the field for the first time?
Yeah, there were a little bit of nerves, but it's the same game, and I just kept telling myself that. So I was really just excited that, I was getting this chance. So I just wanted to make the most of it and not really, have any regrets or play scared or anything like that. So I was trying to just be myself and go about business kind of the way that I always try to, and not try and, do anything that I wouldn't do on a regular day at the complex or in any other, baseball setting. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's tough, I bet, because you played a decent amount of other positions when you were in school, but to make your professional league debut when you made the majority of your college reps as a shortstop, shifting over to third base, there's been injuries and all of that on the Albuquerque team as the season wraps up, but just such a really cool story that you get to grab your glove and head out onto that field, and then especially 7th inning, as the finishing touch of this amazing comeback, you hit this line drive single to drive in 2 runs and tie the game at 10-10. Please tell me they let you keep the ball.
Yeah, I got the ball. Some of my teammates grabbed it, put it in my locker for me, so that was really cool. But Yeah,
Excellent.
super cool moment. I'm never gonna forget that. That's for sure.
Tell me what was going through your head when you came up to bat with runners on and the tie was just so close, within reach.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the game, I had an at bat first and third, and I didn't get the job done. So I was just really, fired up that I was getting another opportunity, especially in close game, to get another crack at it. Um, just, looking for fastball, and I haven't put a good swing on it, and I'm happy that I was able to do that. Um, Especially it didn't have anything yet during the game, so being able to help out in that way was cool.
Yeah, and then you drive in your first two, you get your first professional hit, you get your first two professional RBI, and then you're standing on base. Greg Jones comes up and drives you in for your first professional run. So that's a heck of an eventful seventh inning for you.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, to say the least.
Well, Nolan, congratulations. It was really cool to watch that happen. Such an awesome story because you had a really great season last year, or I suppose this year still, with the Creighton Blue Jays. And to be drafted in the 17th round on that final day of the draft, what were your feelings when you got that call from the Rockies that you're drafted, here you come, as one of a select few players out of Creighton who have been, drafted into the big leagues. We have current Colorado Rockies pitcher Ty Block, but also Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Gibson. But it's a pretty small fraternity of Creighton players who were drafted.
Yeah, on draft day, I wasn't sure if I was going to get any calls or not. So when I did get the call from the Rockies, it was incredible, dream come true and everything. And yeah, like just want to represent Creighton well, and my coaching staff and all my teammates there, and do the best I can and bring the values and the work ethic that I learned there and bring it into the Rockies organization and try and continue what I've been doing at the college level and just try and bring that into the professional game as well.
Nolan, were there any guys, once you arrived in Albuquerque, were there any of the older players, guys who have been there for a while, who maybe kind of took you under their wing for a little bit just to get you acclimated?
Yeah, when I got here on what was it, Thursday in the third inning. And so Ty Block was in the dugout, and he went to Creighton, and he came right up to me and kind of hung out with me. Um, Kind of weird showing up in the third inning of a team that's already established and first thing and everything. So that was really nice of him to come over and do that, kind of settle me down, just make it feel normal. Um, I'm living with Jimmy and Carl, and they've been great. Just treating me like one of the guys and making me feel welcome, and I really appreciate that. Everybody on the team has been super cool, and just really happy that this is kind of the way things have gone so far.
It's funny that it was Ty Block because, of course, it was Ty Block. Like you said, former Creighton Blue Jay himself, and he's just been such a good teammate to pretty much everybody who's been there. Just to immediately, swoop in. That's really nice to hear. We were talking to my co-host and I, Skylar, were talking with Ryan Rawlison the other week, and something we've lauded is just the culture down there in Albuquerque. Just all the guys always really supporting each other. So that's really nice to hear that you were welcomed into that setting, despite the the sort of the last minute nature of it, because they really did kind of throw you into the deep end there.
Yeah, a little bit, but this is what you prepare for, and this is the moment you've been waiting for a really long time. So I just wanted to make sure that I made the most of it and went about my business the right way, and just help the team, honestly. And everybody's made it a welcoming environment where I feel like I can be myself and contribute in however ways I can or are needed.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to hear that. It's such a good group of guys down there in Albuquerque. I'm super grateful as both a Rockies fan and Rockies writer to have the Isotopes be our affiliate, because they've been super good to us as well. But down in the Arizona complex, were there any coaches or any other players that you've been working with pretty tightly since you were drafted?
Yeah. So I've been down there the whole time since the draft. Freddie Ocasio is the manager down there. He's been awesome. Tony Wolters and Greg Jones kind of work with the position players a lot. They've been fantastic. Just getting making you feel comfortable, getting you in a routine, kind of just introducing you to what pro ball is kind of like. They have tons of great advice, and they're super open and want to work with you, and it's been really awesome. Like I've really been really appreciative of the way everybody's kind of takes you under their wing. It feels like from kind of day one. So it's been great. My time at the complex was fantastic, and time here has been great so far, and everything's been good.
That's awesome. It's great to hear. I always love hearing about, I'm not sure if you know a ton of the Rockies history, but, Tony Wolters was a fan favorite for years here in Colorado. And there was a lot of excitement of what he could bring to the organization as a coach when he, hung up the cleats for himself and decided to go into coaching. So it's really cool to hear about when guys like yourself are getting to sort of work with this guy who knows the ins and outs of going through the minor league system, becoming a major league player, and going through all those motions. We love Tony, so that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, he's great. Really appreciate everything he's done so far. Same with Greg. I know he was a former player as well, so their kind of transition into helping guys and kind of talking about their own experiences has been really cool to hear, and just learn a lot from the stories they tell and their own experiences in that way, and kind of you can take that and put that into your own experience and in your own game as well. So yeah,
that's awesome. And Nolan, my question for you here, as there's not a ton of time left in the minor league season, unfortunately, but do you have any goals here for the last week or two of the season?
I mean, I just want to hit the ball hard and play good defense and just kind of control what I'm able to control. This is still a new environment, and I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. Just want to do what I can do and not try to be something that I'm not. In terms of goals, just if a situation arises in a game where I need to get a hit, I just want to be able to produce and move runners and play good baseball. Essentially, it's just I want to look like a professional out there, because that's what I am. So those are my goals.
And I think your last season at Creighton, you put just such a good season on the board that I think there's a lot to look forward to. So your last season at Creighton, OPS of 966, and the big thing that stands out to me here is 28 walks this season versus only 33 strikeouts. Despite all the jitters, all the nerves, everything like that, being thrust into a very difficult situation, you took a lot of good at bats last night. And you said you had that one at bat where unfortunately you weren't able to get the job done, but I thought you took a lot of really good professional at bats. You only had the one strikeout, and then you got the job done in the seventh. Were there any adjustments that you've sort of made in your plate approach since being drafted and coming up to Albuquerque?
Adjustments, I'd say, there's an organizational approach to the hitting side that I've just, been working on and adopting to. Just trying to stay with what I do well, and just really trying to not do anything that's not me, just want to show the organization, what I got, and move forward from there, but don't want to put too much pressure on myself to try and make a lot of changes initially either. So I feel like I've been going about it, and I've felt comfortable, and felt good in the box last night. I was happy I was able to hit some balls hard, but now there's 5 bats of film on me, so there's going to need to be adjustments made, and I'm just excited to kind of learn the game in that way, and have my adjustments come as they need to, and kind of work through it that way.
Excellent. That's the best way to go about it, honestly. And Nolan, one of my last questions here for you. Do you have any plans for the off season, playing winter ball anywhere, or just sort of, make it through the end of this season and let that first year of being drafted in pro ball sort of wash over you before it's time to get ready for spring?
Yeah, I don't have any plans currently for winter ball or anything like that. Probably just gonna, see how the next couple of weeks go and see what the organization, has for me moving into the off season and kind of take my adjustments and my, development process that way, at least for this first year, and, just control what I can control, and whatever is, kind of required or asked of me, I'll work towards that. And that's kind of how I'm going to, move about the off season. So.
Awesome. Well, Nolan, thank you so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate getting to take a moment to chat with you. Congratulations again on your professional baseball debut and your first professional hit. I'm looking forward to watching much more of you for the rest of this season.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me and, get to know me a little bit. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Happy to do so. Have you on anytime. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All righty. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Affected by Altitude with a Rooftop Mingle. Once again, I am Evan Lang. Joining me today is Nolan Clifford of the Albuquerque Isotopes. And we'll catch you next time.
This has been Affected by Altitude, a Colorado Rockies podcast with Rocky Mountain Rooftop, a proud affiliate of the Fans First Sports Network. Catch new episodes every Monday on wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Be sure to follow us on YouTube as well for video versions of the show.